out to Hope for contributing. Okay. I'm just on Kanye mode because I know we see she's Scorpio rising, right? So that's Queen Hope. But welcome, Hope, to your deluxe astrological transit forecast. Very, very honored to close this reading cycle with you. Okay. First of all, we see you born 1990, so you bout it, and that's just super awesome. I'm born 1990, and something about 1990, we the goats! We the goats! We're the greatest of all time! We're the goats! There's no one greater! I see you got Jupiter exalted in Cancer. I see you got Saturn in its dignity. Okay, I see you got Pluto in its dignity. I see you got Venus exalted. What's up? What's up? Welcome to Goat Squad, baby. Welcome to Goat Squad. And when I say Goat Squad, I'm going to be saying this forever. Like if you're born 88, 89, 1990, you're Goat Squad. You are part of the squad of the greatest. Like that's our legacy. Like that's what we're meant to just shine and exemplify. Okay, I know the 70s think it's them. I know the 80s think it's them. It's really the 90s. Make way. So it is what it is. And we're coming of age. This is why I'm so grateful that you got this yearly transit, because this is the year, Hope, that not only you and I complete our Saturn returns and return our full power, but we activate our destinies once this steps in to Aquarius, Saturn, and Jupiter. So it's like we're returning it 2020, and in 2021, we're taking the full return of our power, boom, activating our destiny. Jupiter and Saturn will conjunct your North Node, and this is very pivotal for you who has your moon in Aqua, okay, and actually can feel our destiny path, okay? So as someone born 1990, very honored, okay, to do this. 1990 has North Node in Aquarius and Pluto in Scorpio. And so this gives us an extreme cosmic destiny. One thing I love about your chart is you, the warrior master, your Queen Hope, because Pluto's on your Scorpio rising, and you are 29 degrees Aries Sun. Are you kidding me? Which would be one thing. But then you also have 29 degrees Mars in Aquarius. Who are you? Who are you, Queen Hope? Because you're pure Queen Hope. And you have the god of death, Pluto, on your rising. You can identify enemies. You can magnetize objects. You can cause others to see what's occurring on deeper levels. For you, this is a transformation state. Because if we put into the context of Pluto being your 8th house as an Aries sun, your personality harnesses the transformation state of how strongly you can step into Dark Lord Hope. Let's just say Scorpio's the Dark Lord of the Zodiac. You're like the Darth Vader. So this is very important because you're super strong. And like me, you're awakening supernatural power and strength over the next year out. But 2020 and 2021 is specifically for 1990, because this is, I mean, it's for other groups too, but this is going to be this decade, the 2020 decade, the 2021 decade is the awakening of the 90s. The 2010 decade was the awakening of the 80s, and the 2000 decade was the awakening of the 70s. So we're up, and we the greatest. I'm gonna keep saying that. I'm gonna make sure I keep saying that, because Hope, not only are we a part of Goat Squad, but you're our vanguard. You're the one who has full knowledge of our destiny path, and you're clearing the way forward for us. Master Aries Sun. Look at that 29 degree again. I gotta show it again. This is spicy. People don't want to smoke with you, Hope. People do not want to smoke with you, Queen Hope. You got 29 degrees fire-bending spirit of Aries. And then you got Pluto on your rising. So you can snap your fingers and someone can drop dead. And that is the superpower that's awakening. This is the importance of having collective karma. There's individual karma that is Saturn energy that is karmically responsible for yourself, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, and Cancer. There's social karma, which is Saturn in Leo, Virgo, Libra, and Scorpio, where the responsibility of what you maintain is within social interactions, where you have to be responsible for your relationships, Libra, with other people. And then you have collective karma. Shout out to my collective karma-ists. We're responsible for the whole world. Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces. We are bestowed upon a supernatural ability. And so let me tell you the most important part of this, especially if you're watching me right now and you have this. If you have Saturn in Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces, and you were born after the 80s, let me tell you what this means. This mission starts with Saturn and Sag. So all you Saturn Sages, God bless you. I'm Saturn Cap. Hope is Saturn Cap. And so this borrows off from what you guys do. Okay, and let me tell you why this is important. Because once Saturn went into Sag, the North Nodal cycle restarted in Pisces. North Node in 88 of Pisces is the return of divine supernatural magic for the collective. So Saturn Sag to Saturn Pisces, late 80s to late 90s, like 95, is important for one reason. Saturn in Sag has Uranus conjunct Saturn, while Neptune went into Cap. So let me tell you why this is so very important. We are the Saturn collective karmic groups that are going to bring and show the world supernatural power. So it's so very important because the Saturn cycle before us was in a position where indigo children were mercilessly tested on, and like people with psychic abilities were not able to share it without them being labeled or ostracized as weird, outcasted for sharing their psychic beliefs, designated as hippies. And so the 80s and 90s generation is the most important right now, because before the 2000s kids become the baby geniuses and the My Hero Academia generation where like they're openly showing their quirks, it's us. Yes, late 20 degrees are mastered. They're more evolved. It's us that's actually going to show, like, we're the ones who are going to show the world, hey guys, we have superpowers. Everyone right now has superpowers. The reason why this is so important for you is because you're a 29-degree cardinal sign. You're going to be one of the first people who break through this. Okay. So it's so everyone has always had superpowers, but everyone's in the closet. Okay. Almost everyone is in the spiritual closet when it comes to gifts, because a lot of people's gifts they see as mental illnesses when they're actual legitimate gifts, or they're ashamed of it because of family upbringing. It's our generation that's like, fuck that shit. I got superpowers and the world's going to know about it. So if you have Saturn in these signs, it is your collective responsibility to actually control the consequence of revealing to the world that we have supernatural abilities. Because Saturn in Sag, Cap, Aqua, and Pisces are the highest level of superpowers. If you think of Saturn as the completion and mastery of all your personal planets and abilities. That's why it's very important that in Sagittarius, Saturn met with Uranus, and in Capricorn, Saturn conjuncts Neptune and Uranus. It's the height of psychic power. It doesn't get any more powerful. The only people more powerful than us, really, are the 2020 births with Saturn, Jupiter, and Pluto in Cap. That's superpower. However, Jupiter is at its falling Cap, and they haven't come of age. Once they come 30, they'll inherit this power. But we have Jupiter in its exaltation with Chiron in Cancer, baby. Ooh. And with great power comes great responsibility, because the Saturn and Sag generation is going to innovate how the world sees magic, and now how superpowers are normalized Saturn in the structure of existence. And then once that is shown, it's us, Capricorn, that's going to organize it. It's the Saturn and Cap generation that's going to be like, okay, that's this group of powers. That's this group of powers. That's this group here. And our North Node in Aquarius is going to have us channel and break through into celestial contact so that we can use our superpowers to connect with aliens. It's 91 and Saturn in Aqua that's now going to take the power that's been mainstream in the system and literally bring it to the stars and further the work we did so that Saturn in Pisces brings this metaphysically, and everything beyond us just adds. Saturn in Scorpio is also very important. Saturn in Scorpio is the end of the social dynamics that led and leads into the collective showing of superpowers, the building of the guild. So right now, as we speak, Saturn is returning for you and retrograding again. And if we look a year out for you, Hope, right now it's Virgo season. As a Scorpio rising, Virgo season, okay, is your 11th house, and as a Master Aries Sun, it's your 6th. So right now during this Virgo season, you're coming into a completion of where realistically you belong in your community, based on how you're aware of this as a change in your lifestyle and behavior. How are friends in your life influencing the real development of your day-to-day routine and behavior? Because what's going to happen if we look a year ahead from now? Right now, Saturn is retrograding on your Saturn. And I just want to clap for yourself. And I just want to give you a clap. In my home country, we say, clap for yourself. Clap for yourself. I might have made that up. But yes, this is very important because right now Saturn is on your Saturn retrograde. And come next year, at this point, Saturn's going to be in Aquarius on your North Node. 2020 and 2021 is the most pivotal period for people born 1990 because the rest of 2020 is going to see you completely return your power. Right now, Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto are retrograde. Okay. Mars is going to retrograde next to your sun. And then Jupiter is going to go direct. Then we're going to go into Libra season opposite your Aries sun, clear chapter 12 as a Scorpio rising, and release relationship constructs. Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto is going to go direct. And this is what's going to lead from Scorpio season to Capricorn season of 2020, clearing all of this Capricorn out of Cap and into Aqua. And this is a huge deal because this represents a whole decade's worth of clearing since Pluto was here, 2008. Okay. The reason why this is even more incredible for you as a Scorpio rising with Pluto on your rising, you're a Pluto rising Scorpio, which is the top 5 strongest rising signs you can ever have. If you have Pluto on your rising in Scorpio, you have one of the strongest personalities ever possible. Okay, it's a huge deal. All right, the only thing that rivals that is the Saturn Cap rising. That's the only more powerful rising than that. So this is very important because now that you have your moon in Aqua, you've always dealt with an inner fear of expressing this knowledge, because people will get butthurt. Because there's a way you say it in the brash Aries way you do that is authentic that, a lot of people may not be ready for this deeper knowledge. The knowledge that you have is deep and private and you act on it with full genius. So once we see this shift out of Capricorn, end of 2020 into 2021, this is going to fill in your 4th house and now ground this absolute understanding of your destiny and yourself. You and I have opposite rising signs. So I have my North Node in the 10th. You have your North Node in the 4th. We both have the same North Node though. So we're both meant to get off our thrones, take the creative talents we have and network with the collective and put other people on so we can shine together. Me in the 10th, I'm taking resources of my family's success, but also leaving what my family wants to come into my own success. You're taking the results and resources of prescribed success or natural Leo talents that you have expressing stage performance or creativity in the world, so that you can come and manifest your own library of knowledge, your own private source of knowledge, your own family of celestials, but also the deep understanding of your soul, because now your moon and Mars are connected to this North Node aspect. But it's even deeper because Pluto's here. And this is now going to lead into a Pluto square subsequently. So everything moving forward from 2021 in February, where we have the new moon in your fourth establishing this, is going to complete the eclipse cycle coming out of your eighth to transform relationships with people forever, and how truly you can deal with others so you don't have to hold back. Because before, when you didn't hold back, it would be projected that it's your fault. Now you don't have to deal with that bullshit. But this is now going to lead back into Virgo season of 2021, where Virgo season of 2020 right now is how all the transits right now are based on the outer planets in your third. So how am I fleshing out this real sense of belonging based on the evolving nature with Jupiter in my third of my attitude? How do I extend forth the intensity of my personality to speak up about serious concerns so that I can hold people's attitudes in line with integrity? Now, next year, when Jupiter and Saturn are in the fourth, next year Virgo season is going to evolve this in, okay, now I've mastered the attitude with which I go about and communicate to people. Now, where do I belong relative to this deeper understanding of how I know myself and the base I've solidified? This is what's going to open up amazing career opportunities in real estate, working from home online, since, Aquarius is online, and also being able to move. Whenever Jupiter transits your fourth, you move. You either gain a new house or you gain a new space that, relative to Aquarius, might be very alien, but will definitely key you into a much more knowledgeable understanding that will evolve the way you take action moving forward. And relative to now Uranus, that is retrograding in Taurus and will be getting closer to your Mercury after it went over your Sun, the innovation of your spirit is now reflected into, throughout this year, greater innovation of your relationships and how you process geniusly with your physical mind, how you hold space in relationships with others. So there's the deep introspective X-ray vision Pluto that's opposite to analytical Mercury and Taurus, that's taking everything you see beneath the surface and fleshing through other people to see their insides and deal with them in that sense. Uranus transiting this is going to automate how you can make money and also connect with people. So you'll be manifesting more unconventional style relationships, borrowing from the innovation your spirit has gotten. And of course, Neptune, that's in your fifth, is going to continue to have you channel divine beings in the manifestation and expression of your creativity, which Saturn coming through here will allow you to get paid for. But this is really more so about shifting the third house lesson into the fourth house lesson. The third house lesson for you, Hope, since 2008 has seeked to transform your attitude and approach towards life and take the incredible genius nature of your skill sets that have made you a child prodigy and utilize them. And now transform this also in a way where you can also awaken the supernatural power that constitutes the body language telepathy you possess. Neptune, Uranus, and Saturn in the third is literally taking your Pluto rising and manipulating people with strings. You're psychologically strong enough to actually control people's minds, but it's not that lethal into mind control. Neptune in the third is telepathy through body language. You can read people's bodies. Okay. And Mercury in the seventh allows you to communicate this sensually, but it uses your own body unconventionally as an antenna to now naturally be led forward with the full authority and intensity of this, because all this Cap is 10th house to you, and that square to your sun is inhibitive. It holds you back like a leash, so that a lot of your actions that ingrain your behavior are highly influenced by the attitude that goes into this, the attitude of your awareness of your career and how hard you're going to go through there. Up until this point, you've been hit with blockages. You were always ready to go. You got Mars in Aquarius. You're so genius, and it links with your soul, but you've been blocked because of delays. So this is the end of the delays. And 3 years from now, this is going to clear. Now, similar to myself, you're dealing with people who think that you're dealing with people around you, and this is characterized by the Capricorn squares, this elitist sense of not yourself, but about yourself from other people, where other people think that you give a single fuck about what they think. And it's annoying because you don't give a shit. You're so focused on evolving. You're dealing with people who are intimidated in your confidence. So it's like they're trying to undermine your value. They're trying to annoy you, and they think that you care when you don't care. You're so focused doing you, but they think you care, and it's annoying because it's like they think that you care that they said certain things about you, but you don't care. Like, you're over here in Aries, like, just killing it, but you're dealing with this residual Cap energy that's kind of meant to kind of bog you down with just trivial uselessness because they're jealous of you and they're afraid of you and they're intimidated of you. And this could be really weird to see because some of these people used to look up to. Well, now that you're coming into this return, that, before 30 where you had to deal with this, now you're going to make it your bitch. Now you're going to control it, and it's going to be so thoroughly empowering. Okay. So now that we've cleared the way, you have this amazing grand water trine with Venus and Pisces that allows you to really feel the divinity of this triplicity and trine. And honestly, this is what makes you part of Goat Squad. Everyone born 1990 has a specific everybody who has Saturn in Cap and Jupiter in Cancer, Goat Squad, has a specific facet to them that makes them unique. Okay. For me, it's my 29-degree Mercury. I see for you, you not only have 29-degree Sun and Mars, but your grand water trine is the most gangster part about you. You have Jupiter in its exaltation, trining Pluto in its dignity, trining Venus in its exaltation. So you, more than, and even water signs, have the ability to empathically feel into emotion at its most bliss, pristine, and this is cause for a lot of jealousy, especially with Pluto on the rising or opposite it. It's going to be irrational. It's not going to make sense. And this is why your moon is hidden in the 4th. You can sense that fear about how people will react extremely to you just because they jealous as fuck. Other than that, not everyone's jealous. A lot of people will be inspired, and other people will be jealous of how other people are inspired. So this pettiness that you've had to deal with the last 5 years, you're not only going to clear, but you're going to own. It's not going to really be an issue anymore because you're single-handedly going to deal with that. But while you have this opposition and weird angles to your Venus and to your soul, it's just going to be a little bit annoying to kind of be receptive to this. But anyway, let's go into the report. So right now we're in Virgo season. From Virgo season to Sagittarius season, what this is going to do is clear the rest of 2020. This is going to provide you relevant details. If we think about the rest of 2020, the rest of 2020 is to now fully activate the supernatural abilities that will release seals that limited the mental blocks you had on your 3rd, and then the behavioral response to these mental blocks that inhibited you. Now they're not going to inhibit you. Virgo season is going to create the grand earth trine so that you can connect more practically these powers with other people while coming into a real awareness of where you really belong and who you can connect with. Because the 11th house has everything to do with like communities and, more like churches we subscribe to. Why this is very, very personal is because moving forward from Libra season, especially when we have the new moon at the end, we're going to have Mars at retrogrades right next to your sun. This is going to have you reevaluate directly how much more forcefully you want to move towards your goals and accomplish everything you're accomplishing. This in the 6th house is having you identify with changes to your lifestyle so that you can rearrange the passion and desire that goes into you even wanting to live your lifestyle. And throughout this period, Virgo season and Libra season are going to be releasing 2019's influence on you and early 2020. Why this is important is because you're going to come into a much deeper understanding of what needs to be released in relationships around you relative to the attitude that you have newly mastered and developed. They're skill sets that since you were born, you're coming into full mastery of, especially when it comes to interacting realistically and practically with other people. And so with Venus that's going to come out of Cancer into your 10th, this is during Virgo season, going to flesh out very beautiful developments in your career as it's in your 10th, attracting great opportunity. And Mercury that's going to be at the tail end of Libra opposite this Mars retrograde in your 12th is going to prepare you accordingly for a very special level and dynamic here of now fleshing out this change in your behavior with how you socially express this, not only towards others, but for yourself. So if we backtrack right now, once we step into the Libra season new moon that's going to occur, let's see, on the 16th at 23 degrees, first of all, this is going to be opposite your sun. It's going to be square Capricorn and it's going to be square Cancer. And the purpose of this is going to be the catalyst and square to break you through completely through all your blockages that have built up since birth. And how this powerfully activates and manifests itself is definitely going to ascribe a very important level of now unconscious spiritual beliefs about relationships you have with others versus yourself as an individual in your 6th. The shared behaviors that as a consequence you come into others that get in the way of your attitude. Scorpio risings, this applies to you too. That's being established. This is what's going to have you be mindful of the duplicitous, shady ways that other people get in your way so that you can release them once and for all. And it's the square between Libra that's going to have you break through inhibitions in expressing your authentic self to where you'll no longer really be held back by any faint sense of insecurity. And now we're ready to step into Scorpio season that's going to push this narrative further and also see Mars go direct. So by the time Mars goes direct, coming into the end of October, Mercury is going to retrograde after the new moon. And the conjunction that they have 2 degrees Scorpio is going to have you reevaluate at a very important level the understanding of how you take this intensity of self-understanding relative to this 3rd house Capricorn, of how you're more confidently going to express secret facets of yourself. You want to see this facet of November moving into December as a returning to yourself, a clearing of the past year, and getting ready to now control aspects of your superpowers that will define more of your character. So Libra season is going to be the breakthrough where you're not only finishing off this Saturn return and returning your power, but you're getting ready to actually practice it and use it. Okay, the car is out the shop. And let's say the retrograde out of Aquarius was kind of working on your Saturn return. Now you can use it. Now you can wreak havoc, and you can handle your ops. So Scorpio season, that is going to, with the new moon here, with Mercury and Venus, that's in your 12th, release old relationship constructs relative to who you're becoming, and now start a new moon cycle relative to this strengthening of your attitude by redefining who you are. This is important because Uranus is in your 7th, retrograde 8 degrees, while Mars is getting ready to go direct. So Mars direct during the new moon in Scorpio is having you move forward on how everyone has reevaluated their individual passionate action. Because this is going to sextile your moon, you're the Aries that knows who you are. You're the warrior queen that knows what you're doing and acts with full genius outside the box. So this is going to have you innovate fully a lot of your lifestyle choices. You're going to move forward on what you've reevaluated with just in time for you to now, relative to your first house, transform based on your awareness of the 8th house, your personality. Stepping deeper into who you identify yourself as based on the 3rd house Saturn and Jupiter evolution and mastery of your attitude and how you express your identity. So Scorpio, Sag, and Cap is going to complete this mastery of attitude, and moving forward into the new moon in Sagittarius with Mercury on here at the eclipse. This is going to complete the first stage and level of the eclipse that started in Gemini in June. So the eclipse lesson for you is taking the resources of the amazing quality of your value that allows you to show people meaning based on the wisdom of your personality and transform the relationships with others by how you deal with them truthfully. We know that this is coinciding during an evolution and awakening of the 1990s individuals and late 80s of manifesting our superpowers more supernaturally than any other soul group, and with the quality of being a late bloomer that's going to have us just come through it all at once. So around this period, as you manifested the lesson of the first eclipse, which was to show you from June to December of 2020 how your dealings with others adds to your value, the second eclipse is showing you with Sagittarius, especially during that new moon and full moon, how much more valuable you have become now that you've mastered more of your attitude to cardinally with Capricorn take action off of the strength of your Scorpio rising so that you can, one, get paid, because the evidence of this is you're dealing with other people so that you can open up self-employment for yourself. 8th house Gemini is other people's truth so that you can manifest your own personal meaning. And that's a fancy way of saying you're gaining trust from other people to pay you for what their services they're trusting you to do. And it doesn't have to be money. This is really going to be more so intimacy and how much more you can mindfuck people and for your benefit and enjoyment. So this is even more, and I really mean, I know that sounds sarcastic, but mind fucking is very, very important now more than ever, because people are so fake. Now you have to mind fuck them just to see where their heads are at. And that was so Gemini to say, but like, you'll see what I mean coming into Sagittarius season. The purpose of Sagittarius season is to establish what 2019 Jupiter Evolved Chapter 2 regarding your value, to see how much more valuable you've evolved and ascended. And this is where the trine that Sagittarius makes with your sun in Aries, where Mars will finally be trining in Aries, getting ready to move forward powerfully from retrograde, is going to inspire you with the valuable action needed to now see what needs to be done in your day-to-day routine. This is going to really infuse you with a lot of action the more the sun gets closer to your sun, as you'll feel more and more energy brimming through, and establishing for the year the level of value that you're here to manifest. This is where around this period, the sense of confidence you manifest will directly be established towards people who you can sense are jealous to you, so you can shine more in their face and then they can be more mad and just say all the mad things they say because they mad. People love being mad at Aries, and I'm here for it all. I'm the instigating Gemini to see you get mad at Aries, and then Aries beat your ass because you try to step with them on that fake shit. So other than that, we do know that during Sagittarius season for you, your Venus and transiting Neptune will be squared. So you want to be mindful about what you see about yourself versus what others perceive about you, and be in a position to put and square people straight. So far we've gone from Virgo to Sag season. The next chapter is from Sagittarius season to Pisces season. Sagittarius season to Pisces season is going to develop your 2nd to 5th house. And this is where we're going to see Saturn and Jupiter move out of Capricorn into Aquarius. By Sagittarius season, you have manifested a definitive breakthrough in your supernatural ability. All of the 1990s, all of the 1986, 87, 88, 90, 91 were the first batch. 86 to 90 is the first batch. And by Sagittarius season, you've initially manifested this. So once we step into Capricorn season, this is now the full activation of everything that has left Capricorn and is getting ready to start in Aquarius. This is where you now take cardinal collective action to now practice and take these powers to use out in the world. This is what's going to develop more your attitude and officially begin the 4th chapter of your soul development, taking the 1st chapter of Scorpio rising, the wisdom of your identity, the 2nd chapter, the meaning of your value, the 3rd chapter, okay, the integrity of your skill set and attitude, to now lump in the 4th, the knowledge of your foundation. So you can take these first 3 chapters and build a base leading into the next 3, which is going to bring this out towards developing relationships. 4th chapter is one of the most important chapters. Jupiter is going to prepare you to either move to a new place or really gain deep wisdom and knowledge of your ancestry. When Jupiter went through my 4th in Leo, I randomly went to Nigeria. Was not expecting it. Before I came back and moved to a new place, like I was in Nigeria and I was gaining wisdom about my ancestry in Nigeria. And then once that left, I came back to America. So keep that in mind. This is going to activate your destiny. And from Sagittarius season to Pisces season, this is what's going to cement collectively and publicly a lot of you expressing everything you've mastered to now fulfill your authority and legacy, and now set forth the direction that these manifested super abilities will now take you. And this is important because before we start the cycle again in 2021 of March and April, this is going to really have you cover bases and establish the chapter 4 nature of this development of your soul. So new moon in Capricorn is going to bring at a very powerful level, right, at a very powerful level, this amazing transformation of how much your skill set has grown with the Venus, Moon, Sun, Pluto conjunction in your 3rd on Pluto. This is what is, while Saturn and Mercury and Jupiter are in your 4th house, already starting to activate this sense of now taking your superpowers and then going into the North Node of Aquarius and manifesting a collective to which you can spread this influence, literally. This is what's going to consolidate the end of this 3rd house chapter and have you really now decide on the general attitude you'll approach people with. Now that you know yourself more than ever, this new moon is going to square your sun. And this is going to challenge whether you can take this newly transformed sense of yourself and apply it directly to your attitude. This is where your haters are going to be crying now, because the work that they seek to undermine you privately hasn't worked. You're succeeding And now you wouldn't even have known they were hating. You only know because they're coming out with it. Like they're openly crying. You still won't give a fuck because you're out here winning and you don't care about losers. So this is so very important because Mars, while the sun is going to be on your new moon next to your Saturn, okay, finishing the Saturn return, Mars is going to be on Uranus next to Mercury. So the innovation individually of every one of their actions after Mars retrograded in Aries. See, Mars retrograde is reevaluating because everyone all over the world is awakening superpowers. So Mars has to retrograde in Aries, change the way you literally take action because now you got superpowers. And this is what it means. Let's use Peter Parker as an analogy. Mars going retrograde is he got bit by the spider and now he's seeing his body change. And now he's like, he's having a montage scene. The montage scene is over. Mars is direct. Then Mars goes into Taurus and he creates the Spider-Man costume. And now he actually starts, now that he's had his montage, actually fighting crime. This is what sets it off. So this is where with this trining your third and seventh, you're applying this sense of your awakening to how you innovate relationships with others and shock others into reality by leading by example and with the integrity of your actions, really connecting with the world around you, setting things straight. And this is where with Chiron, that's in the same sign as your sun, you're going to be triggering people by exposing a lack of integrity in their behavior or a lack of authenticity. And if they get triggered around you, it's because they're bitches. It's because they're little boys and girls that instead of taking responsibility, want to blame you for calling them out. And if people want to be little bitches around you, then trigger them even more. Okay? I'm just letting you know. Other than that, I'm just so glad that you're born in 1999. Like, this is lit. You may get 2012 flashbacks around this period. And what's very important now is once we move into the new moon in Aquarius, the new moon in Aquarius with Mercury retrograde and Venus and Jupiter and Saturn is going to be so huge for all of us with North Node in Aquarius. But with this in your fourth, while Mercury reevaluates now the way that we operate collectively in our social environments and how we now take this knowledge we gained and change the way we see the world before it goes into Pisces of perception, this is going to establish the lesson for you over the next year of what you need to do to now establish this sense of foundation. Because North Node, fourth house in Aquarius to me with Moon and Saturn is like a cosmic base of operations. And so you're going to be aware of the hidden knowledge that you're going to be establishing. Saturn, Jupiter evolving this is Saturn wants you to now gain a work from home experience where you can travel with this. It doesn't have to be from home, but it's going to be making it independent your need to. You're not going to work a job. If you work a job, you're not going to work a job after this. Like, this is going to now centralize your ability to be independent from the system itself. And this is a very crucial period because this is going to be the official activation and lunar return of your destiny. So Mercury reevaluating this is now taking an old way of understanding yourself and replacing it with a way more advanced way. Shit's going to get sci-fi moving forward from here. And that's what leads us into Pisces season. The next step from here with Neptune and Venus back in its exaltation returned for you, that's going to have you really harness deeper creativity based on Jupiter and Saturn's fourth house presence in your chart. So you're going to be based on now the 2021 lesson, fleshing out greater divine creativity, changing your perception around the divine expression of your supernatural abilities and how you can build a greater foundation based on this. I don't know if you're into real estate, but like you may be able to make a killing getting into real estate and utilizing that with online social media presence. But it doesn't have to be real estate. That's just one example. Okay. So Once we move forward now and we finish Pisces season, by Pisces season, Mars is going to be next to the North Node in Gemini. Pisces season is in between the eclipses, and this is going to have you reevaluate whether the level of courage and confidence and creativity you express is allowing you to tap in with people more while still adding to this amazing sense of your value. Moving forward with Mars, that's now going to have cleared your 7th. This is going to have you start to transform your connections with others by acting out ingenious ways that challenge the more soft parts of your heart by being assertive and holding others accountable to the truth. You want to be very mindful around March and April because this is really going to constitute a definitive shift and how much more assertively and confidently you now bring yourself to others. Because we have to remember, you've cleared the first 4 houses. This is huge. You've cleared a very important facet of yourself to where you're ready to now build foundation to deal more directly with other people as this master warrior queen. And I mean, you're already born with superpowers. So this is just really fleshing this out more so that you can help others understand where they fit into this. So the new moon in Aries cycle with Venus and Mercury in Chiron is going to now take everything that we've spoken on since 2020 Virgo season and establish this fully in your lifestyle. Remember, Libra season of 2020 next month, October, is releasing unconscious habits relative to the evolution of your attitude practically that gets in the way of you living an authentic lifestyle. And so the 6 months since October where you've replaced that with new lifestyle habits are manifesting in much more passionate, powerful evocations of your identity through your behavior. So that by the new moon in Aries, you're ready for another 6-month chapter to instill, now that your superpowers have awakened, new habits based on reinforcing and practicing the fully fleshed out nature of your superpowers. Aries season 2021 is going to start with a bang because with the sextile of Jupiter and Saturn in Aquarius, you're going to be moving forward with instilling such super powerful behaviors, exercise regimens, work, independent work based on the knowledge that you have in your 4th. Your destiny is going to be more activated than ever for the first time ever. And we're still going to have Mars in the tail end now of Gemini, moving this forward mentally so that you can see greater transformation in your relationships with others. This is where breakthroughs will be inevitable with now and any work from home opportunities and self-employment because you're actively going in relationships to bring people to your 2nd house in Gemini, which could be sending people messages because this is Gemini. It doesn't have to be physical, social. This could be all online. But we know Aries likes to be out there for real. So this is really awesome. This is really, really, really awesome. Okay. So I kind of want to emphasize the importance of this new moon. Everything moving forward is going to manifest the opposition. We started at Virgo season. Pisces season manifests the opposition of this 11th house by now divine talents based on a deeper 4th house knowledge that can allow you more confidence out in the community. Aries season is manifesting the release of unconscious habits that now by Aries season get out your own way so that you can instill new habits into Libra season of 2021. Taurus season now, first of all, is going to see Jupiter get ready to move into Pisces before it retrogrades. We're going to now go over Uranus. This is the sun gauntlet from Capricorn season. All right. Capricorn to Gemini season is harsh and it's crazy. This is what's going to bring out our super bellies. Whereas we awakened it within, this is going to bring it without. So the conjunction to Uranus with the moon and Venus that's going to be with Mercury on the North Node in Gemini, trining your North Node in Aquarius, our North Node in Aquarius, is going to, through destiny, align us with all the relevant conversations we need so that we can build our network. And this is your 7th house. So Scorpio of 2020, the attitude adjustment of how more to stand in the confidence of your identity is manifesting Taurus season in relationships innovative, transformative relationships that reflect that. And the sexual tension with the opposition to your natal Pluto is going to be further intensified with the T-square to transiting Saturn on your North Node. It's going to be exactly on your North Node. And this is going to break you through considerably, manifesting the right relationships and partners to now dive deep into these private concerns of building a foundational collective and network that will stand the test of time. A lot of this work you're doing this year is going to set you for life, like for the next 30 years. Like you're a gangster pimp right now. Like you're getting it in. So I just kind of want to pause here. Like every single month from Libra season, it really kicks off Libra season and Scorpio season, is going to go into hardcore manifestation. Once we break through out of here from Taurus and we step into now Gemini, the eclipse again, boom. We have Saturn retrograding over your North Node. And so the last part of this is, see, from Virgo season to Sag season, you're releasing the last year. You're getting ready to now step into chapter 4 and you're mastering your superpowers. From Sagittarius season to Pisces season, you're further breaking through your superpowers to how you can apply what you've mastered to the collective around you, and you're establishing the direction you want to go in. Pisces season to Gemini season, you're taking everything that you've mastered about yourself and you're applying it directly to other people in relationships to transform them and to evolve your relationships relative to this fourth house understanding of your family and yourself. And now from Gemini season to Virgo season, we close out the yearly transit and we see how much you've grown. But more importantly, we see total transformation. And relative to this fourth house chapter, with your soul as the literal conduit and foundation, you take these broken through powers and you now change the world around you by coming into an initial sense of career goals as well as career manifestation. Okay? Because this is going to now lead over the next year into Jupiter going into your 5th while Saturn finishes out of your 4th. And this is where you're really going to just flourish. But now once we're in Gemini season, the eclipse that started last year, Gemini season, June of 2020, is going to complete as we now get ready to complete the North Node in Gemini. Because by this time next year, North Node will be in Taurus. So whereas from June of last year to December of 2020, you were developing a lot of the intimacy and trust issues needed to gain more value in yourself. From December to June of 2021, you've now transformed how much more confident you bring yourself into these relationships by fleshing out greater talent and working on yourself. This is what's going to manifest in June. The new moon in Gemini with Mercury reevaluating how you deal with others truthfully is, first of all, going to interact with the reevaluation of Saturn in your 4th to resort how you're going to be operating from your base. It's going to be squaring Uranus direct, okay? And this is also going to be preparing you to close out the yearly cycle. You're going to be manifesting greater confidence because of the second house meaning in Sag. And with Venus that's trining your Venus and Mars 29 degrees that is going to be king-cuncing 29 degree Aquarius, you're going to be transforming forever the way you take action in showing others the sincere nature of the psychic dynamics that take place with other people. The reason why this is important is because this is the stage of your superpower awakening where you've reached the full initial mastery, and now you can determine where you want to go with this even further. This is attracting people in your life who have mirrored this supernatural awakening as well. And the North Node Aquarius networking dynamic is going to be so much more fleshed out, leading us into Cancer season with that new moon, which is opposing the third house chapter you've mastered all year, fleshing out in strong, powerful beliefs with which you can teach people everything you've learned so far during 2021. This is where you're going to flesh out individually newly psychic abilities with Saturn that's opposing Mars and Venus, okay, in Leo, which will, relative to your 10th and 4th house, now give you an idea of, relative to this new base you founded, where your career can go. And this is also what's going to lead into the new moon in Leo. So by this 8th house, 9th house transit, the transformation in Gemini is now coming to light in Cancer. And once this goes into the new moon in Leo, this is what is going to now show you, relative to Saturn retrograding opposite with Jupiter retrograding opposite here, how much you've grown in a short 6 months for your career, what your career looks like. Because what's going to happen is 6 months from then, this is going to come back into your Saturn and Venus is going to conjunct in your 4th, and you're going to complete what this looks like by having full control over your base. Okay. So this is definitely very pivotal. It's a very powerful year moving forward. This is really geared towards fully awakening your spirit and soul and defining your career. And what's very, very, very important about that as well has everything to do with your willingness and ability to own up throughout this period the inhibitions of what, you know, may hold you back. Because it's not easy to be an Aries during this period. Aries and Gemini are very disrespected because our individual focus clashes with the collective and social norms that people want us to conform to. And we're the only two zodiac signs that are throwing our middle fingers up and saying, suck our dicks. We're going to do what we want. And there's nothing you can do about that. And so people are making us pay for that. But the energy is in our advantage to be like that. So keep fighting that good fight, because it's very difficult to be us right now. But by the time we reach Leo season, especially, we would not only have transcended these issues, but by the time we come back around in the Virgo season and Mars is now like on the new moon in Virgo, trining retrograde 14-degree Taurus, all right, which is your 7th house. This is going to now, relative to last year, give you a much more knowledgeable base of understanding to operate and recruit people around you, to where last year was about awakening superpowers. This year is about consolidating who else has superpowers and forming guilds and communities around, where you're going to be the base here. You could even get like a huge community home where you operate with this network. So looking forward to your feedback. I really hope this is accurate to you. A lot of why this is important is because you and I are both born 1990. And so this is very, very pivotal. Like this is our awakening. And this is where we can finally use the full extent of our abilities. You want to see the rest of 2021 as you taking, let's say Saturn is your vehicle. Well, you're taking your vehicle out. Last year when it was in Aquarius, you were taking it out for a test drive. Now you're really driving it. And 2021 is about exploring how you can really express newly awakened abilities, and by Virgo season, delineating what you really want to establish with that. So you stay blessed as always. I hope you enjoyed this Deluxe report, and until next time.